how to have everything that you want. And there is only one way that you will get to that place where you have everything that you want in your life, and that is if you decide to become yourself. You were born with everything within you to have that happen, but sometimes we don't get there because we get off track somehow. We start getting distracted with other things that aren't really for us, or we might believe that we don't have the ability and power to do that, to create that life that we want, and that is never true. I was thinking about this today, and I started to write it, and I said, every coach that I've worked with, every program I've taken, every mentor that I've gone to, they all did the same thing. They all said the same thing. Same thing for you. If you were in school, it was the same thing. If you went to therapy, if you went to a counselor, it was always the same thing. You have everything within you to be the person you want to be. And then it doesn't happen, and you wonder why. Well, it's because you weren't willing to become yourself, and that takes courage. It takes the willingness for you to decide to look inside and figure out, oh, this is who I am, and now that makes me a wonderful person, and I'm going to go on and do that. That is true for every person, except some people will not do that. I didn't do it for a long time. I resisted who I was meant to be for so long, and I cannot stand to see other people doing that any longer because it's torturous. It really is, because you don't have everything you want if you're not being yourself. You won't have the career, you won't have the money. That's why the money probably didn't work for you, because you're doing things in the wrong way. You're going after the wrong thing. You won't have the right relationship, and if your relationships have been terrible and they keep screwing up and you keep repeating them, it's because you're not being yourself. There is nothing else other than that. And I wish I could tell you that there was some other solution, but there isn't, because I've tried all of them. But fortunately, I've been given the solution. I recorded something and I sent it out the other day explaining my journey to getting to this place in my life, because I know that what I'm meant to do is to bring this work to a much broader, bigger audience and to help the world change, because that's what we're going through right now. If you haven't noticed, things are not what they used to be, and they never will be. I have been writing about this for more than 2 years, saying what was coming, that we were changing, our world was going to be doing, and we were restructuring. That was the term that kept coming up. And then it was happening in the United States. Now, I didn't know what that meant when I first started receiving it. I had no clue. I just thought, okay, because I'm intuitive and I receive information. That's what happens. And I didn't talk about that for so long. I just did my work. I just went on and do it. But it's different now. Our world is splitting apart. It is, so that we can come together. That is why it is happening. And you're going to see it, and you're going to see more division over the next year. That's why I said this will go on for about a year, which is why I wanted people to stay in the program for at least that long, because you're going to need some grounding. You're going to want to know who you are. You're going to want to own that and feel really secure in that. And that is exactly what my program does. I just received an email from someone who just finished the program, and he's like, okay, now where? He's ready to go into your life operating instructions, which is, counseling, which is going to be private meetings with me or another coach, but it's going to be mainly with me at this point. But he's so excited because he figured out so many things that he could not get there before, and somehow I had the information to give him. All I did was put it together. I had to go back through this myself, because again, I received the information. I don't even know what it is sometimes, and I have to go back. Oh, that's what it is. Now I get it. And I'm no longer afraid. I'm no longer doubting. I'm no longer in those places where you're going to see so many people. There, you will see people on the street yelling. Have you seen that right now going on? Because you're going to have to decide on a lot of different issues for you and your family. One of them is going to be about life, about abortion, and are you for abortion, against it? What is that about? You're going to decide if you're for the people or for just one person. These are the things and the issues that are happening. However, once you become willing to own who you are, that stuff doesn't matter, because you're getting on with doing what you came to the world to do. And everyone has that within them, every single person. And I can say this because I've done this work for so long, and I wanted to find something that was going to help people actually change and hold on to it. We know now how that works because we have neuroscience. We've studied all of this. So when you're doing something over and over again consistently, you're in a different place because you only live in your thinking, in your perceptions, in your consciousness. That's the only way that you experience anything at all in your life. And when you become secure in that, the outside world doesn't bother you. And that's the place where we all must go to now if we want to see a world that we want to live in. Because it's going to be a little difficult over the next year, as I said. However, if we do something which is just loving ourselves, giving up the judgment and getting on, stop being afraid and getting on with what we were called to do, things change. I just released another wisdom from Wilhelm, a conversation with Wilhelm video. It's on my YouTube channel. It was from December 4th of 2021. And if you listen to that, you'll hear so much of the stuff that is going on right now that I was talking about, but it wouldn't have made sense to us then because it hadn't occurred. Now it has. And we're seeing it everywhere. I talked about women coming into play here, but that's only because we need to embody more of the female energy into each of us. That's what's going on because they've been subjugated forever. That's what happens in civilizations. We're changing. You happen to be alive at a time where our world is moving through a massive change, and you're supposed to be a part of it. And the way that you contribute to that is by owning who you are, loving yourself, and putting that energy into the world. That's what will make a difference. So when I created this program, I didn't know what I had until after I saw the results. When I saw people changing and becoming so much better from everything that I have ever done in my life, I received a better result myself from this information. And if you read the blog post that I did, you would understand why, because there's so much information that's included in this that I didn't even know I had. You don't know what you have. I was working with a client today, and she all of a sudden discovered that she had these abilities, this talent, that she goes, how is this happening? A lot of people are going through that now. We're not going to be the same, but you have to become willing to embrace it. And that's what I had to do, because I doubted it at first. I said, oh, could this really be that good? Yes, it is. And now I'm going to take it to much bigger places too, because I want it to get out there, because I know the more people who do this, we start to change the world, because you're not putting out anger and hate. You're loving yourself and getting on with doing what you're doing. And that's why I guarantee the results, because I know that it works. So check it out. I want you to see this. I want you to understand, because there are many things that were going on today that a lot of people were afraid and thinking, things are going, the world is falling apart. If you look at it and think it's falling apart, it will. If you decide to change your mind and think, no, it's coming, it's happening so that I will come together, it's going to be a completely different experience for you and the world. So check that out, but that's really what's happening. And you can have everything that you want. And you will know that because you will feel so much better and peaceful. All right, see you soon.